Well, this is going to be one of the most interesting ones yet, because this is simply not going to work. And these guys are pretty bummed out about it. So I told them, sure, I'll try it. We'll do anything. But as soon as I stop, you have to unload me where I'm at. And they don't really want that because it would shut down the entire job site. They're asking if I unhook the trailer and they pick it up with a crane and spin it around in the air while I bobtail somewhere and turn the truck around or come out backwards. Morning, driver. It's Monday. You ready to go to work? I just got back from Texas here. Today's Monday. I got back Saturday night, evening. So it's a quick turnaround for me, but that's all right because look at what trailer we've got here. It's the stretch trailer. That means this is a special load, and this is why I hurried up and came home. We are actually going to take 2 stretch loads this week, both into California. We're going to go over Donner Summit 1, 2, 3, 4 times this week. But look at this. That bright thing in the sky is the sun. There's going to be no snow. It's a dry winter so far. So we're going to be fine. I'm not worried about that at all. I got the trailer all ready to go yesterday. I still need to check the air in the tires real quick, but we're plugged in, hooked up, ready to roll. My name is Jupiter. I drive a truck. I own the truck I drive, and that's why I called my company Jupiter Trucking. Join me, and I'll take you along on some of the different things I end up doing to make a buck with a truck. We're here, yay! We're gonna stretch the trailer out. So this load is a 75-foot load. So my math is I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna go 2 feet over the front and 10 feet over the back. That's 12 feet. 75 minus 12 is 63. So I wanna have the trailer 63 feet long. Hope that makes sense. That works out. Let's pull the pins, stretch it out. Just like that, I'm all done. What did I end up with on the front here? I ended up with about 2.5 feet. That'll be all right. It's a little close. And on the back, I ended up with 8.5 feet. So I probably could have moved it back a little bit. But it'll be just fine. The other day, Bucky from South Carolina asked me a question. He said he's set many of these bar joists, as these are called, and he said out there they've never done any with wood. This is more of a 3x5, and they have different size wood. This is the lumber that I haul back from Southern Oregon. He asked how it was attached, and it's attached right here. They drill holes in the joist, and they screw it. So all of the wood is screwed to the joist all the way down. And what they do is they build the entire roof panel on the ground out of wood. So this will be flipped upside down so the wood is up. Then they nail plywood and other wood to it and make an entire panel that's 75 feet long. And then they lift the entire panel up on the roof, where guys up there will attach it and put it on the columns or on the girders or however it goes. So they panelize the entire roof, and it goes up in panels like that, with the lumber already attached to the wood that is already attached to the joists. That's about the best I can explain it. I've seen it done 100 times. I've never asked anybody for specific instructions or details on how it's done, but that's how we do it. And now we've got to head out. There's a couple other guys that are going down to this job. They've left already, at least 2 of them. John and Paul are headed down there, and Paul's gonna call and find out about parking. So we'll know about that shortly, I hope. Well, we've got about a 5-hour drive today. Shouldn't be too bad. We'll probably hit a little traffic, and it'll probably be a little after dark by the time we get there. I don't know. Haven't really done the math on that part. But I did hear back from Paul, the job site superintendent, supervisor, foreman guy, thinks that there will be enough room to park down there. And he was a little surprised to hear how long these loads were. And when Paul told him, you know, hey, we got to get in the building, he was like, oh, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. So it never ceases to amaze me how that happens. We'll get down there and we'll get it off one way or another, I promise. Boy, there's not much snow up here on the top of Donner. A lot of dirt and a lot of rocks. It's that time of day again. I was really hoping to be able to make it to the job site before it got dark, but that accident slowed me down a good bit, and I'll probably be about 20-30 minutes later than allowed. So we'll just stop and put them on. About 45 minutes from the job site right now. All right, let me try this. I'm as far as I can. So did I hit something? All right, let me come out and look at it. Oh shit, that's not even close.
That's about how far it was when we were at the back and squeezed through.
Oh my god, damn.
That's why I said you gotta go that way more, but
I think the only...
You said you were...
Wow. I don't know. I think the only way... We're gonna have to take that panel out. It's the only way, and then I hope I can make it around that pipe. That's the only way I'm getting in there. These guys are a lot shorter than me too. They shortened up. What, you're about 10 feet shorter than me? Probably, sounds like. I got a wrench. All right, let's take it down. This is stupid. All right, I gotta get to work. So I can't go over anymore. I can't swing any wider. I'm gonna back up and we're gonna see if we can't swing the gate open like that. I can't see a fucking thing, so I hope you've got eyes on it. I'm gonna clear that post. Oh, I'm in. Nice. All right. John bobtailed to go get some food, so his trailer's up there. Paul was here gonna close the gate. That worked out really well because me and Paul and I were on the phone. So he was watching my tail swing to know if I could get in. Let me know I was clear of this post. Looks like I came up. Are these my tire tracks right here? Or was I a little more over? Where did I come in at?
You were right in here.
Right about there.
You were away from this about yay far.
Oh, okay.
So you had that kind of room.
Right on. I think we're good. I swear to God, some of the things that I get myself into, this is going to be interesting. All right, see you. Well, good morning. Things are moving super fast here. A little different than we planned. One truck is unloaded. The second truck is being unloaded, and now I'm running late. And it's not even 6:30 yet. I got to get all my shit off. I need to move way forward to give room for John to get out, and then Paul to get out, and then I'll back up and they'll unload me, and then I'll get out. It's a mess. So now I gotta pull forward. They ran out of room where to put this stuff, so they had me pull forward once they lifted it up. And now they're gonna go do something with it. But I gotta put my stuff away. It took me a little longer to get unloaded because I wasn't ready. Everything moved so fast this morning, and then me helping the other guys didn't give me a chance to get ready, but that's fine. There's nobody behind me. My load is sitting right there. How they're gonna get it in the building, I have no idea. But as they say, not my problem. And we're out. Rating this job site, you know, it was in a good spot. It was easy to find. I'll give the location an 8. The job site itself was dumb. I'll give that a 3. But the unload was super fast and easy. I'll give that a 9. I had no problems with that. Did I hate it? No. Do I want to come back? No. Well, there you go. I don't know. What's that all average out to? A 5 or something? Whatever. We're headed out of here now. Leaving the Bay Area at sunrise. Can't really bitch about that. Traffic is absurd. How do people do this every day? I did want to say one thing about where I delivered today. Remember a couple weeks ago when I talked about Kit Carson? He was a guide and explorer. Well, he was a guide and explorer for John Fremont. And the town that I delivered in, Fremont, was named after John Fremont. And it all comes full circle. Oh yeah! That's it. I'm home. It's only 1 o'clock. I got time to do things, and I did do one thing. Let me show you what I did here. About 2 weeks ago, Amy went to roll down the window real quick to take a picture, a video of something, and the knob fell off. So I called 4 state trucks, and they shipped me out a couple new ones. And I want to tell you that if you need a window crank for your old beater, this one's a little wobbly, this one's missing a knob, I will send these to you for free. But if you want a new one for your old beater, call 4 State Trucks. If you use the code Jupiter10, you can get 10% off a new window crank. Give them a call. Anything that's not on sale, doesn't have to be a window crank. Other than that, I'm done for today. I'm gonna reload again. Today's Tuesday. I'm gonna reload again on Thursday. So we'll see you then. We're back. It's Thursday. We're gonna take a long load today, another 75-foot load going down to Turlock, California. So we're gonna go back over the hill. But once again, that's a big old yellow ball in the sky, making things pretty warm and dry around here this year. I have one thing I've got to fix real quick. I had that problem with the turn signal. Uh-oh, I gotta wiggle the plug. My left turn signal's not working. I got a new plug. I had broken the cover off this plug, the latch or whatever it's called, several months ago. So the plug hasn't been held in there, and I don't know if that's what's causing it. Just a quick little 2-minute fix here and we'll have a new plug in, and hopefully that is the problem. I got some electrical trailer plug goo on it already. So far, success on the first try. We'll keep an eye on it, but I think we're good. Okay, time to get to work. Now the question of the day is, how long do I make this trailer? Because I didn't screw up, but it didn't work last time. Again, I have a 75-foot load. I would prefer to have about 10 feet off the back and about 2 feet off the front, which would mean stretch the trailer to 63. However, that last job site the other day, that was a no. So I'm gonna go 5 feet shorter. I'm gonna go to 58. That'll give me 13 off the back, 13, 14 off the back, 2 over the front, you know, somewhere in that range. I just don't like winging around with that much overhang if I can help it, but I don't know if I can help it or not. We're just gonna do it. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, 58 feet this time. Let's go. Here's my load. A little funky, not terribly funky, just a little different by having these short pieces intermixed with different joists. It was intended to be just those long joists is what I was told, but something about these shorter ones had to go with the same building and the loads couldn't be whatever, blah blah blah. So it's a little different having things pieced together like this. I have 16 feet of overhang. So this time the plan is shorter trailer, more overhang, and hopefully it pays off. Got about a 5-hour drive today. Should get there before dark this time. Getting a little better start on it than I did the other day. As you know, one of the biggest challenges with these loads is finding a place to park. So especially on these job sites, these long loads, I'll call ahead and ask if there's a place to park. The contractor that I'm talking to today didn't really think so. However, the yard for their business is only about a mile from the job site, and there's a little trucking company that shares the property with them with a big lot and fenced, gated, all of that, and I have been given permission to go to their yard, pull in there, and make myself at home tonight. And then we're going to meet up in the morning, and we're going to get in his pickup, and he's going to take me over to the job site and get my interpretation, if you will, on how easy it'll be for access. So that's pretty nice. But parking arranged, and I even get a sneak peek at the job site before I show up and start knocking things over. This will be good. Now the trucking company whose yard I'm going to be parking at tonight gave me specific directions, easier directions on how to get there that a GPS won't take you, especially being this long. So I have to actually go south of town and turn around and come back and approach it from the south rather than the north. And it looks like I'm going to be getting there right when it's dark. It might even be, I don't know, about 20-25 minutes after sunset. We'll see how it goes. I'm here. This is the thing about parking with these long overhang loads. I got pretty close to that fence, about as close as I could see. And yeah, that's about just right. Blindsiding into this parking spot wasn't awesome, but it's just long. The trailer and the load being long just make it a little more difficult. But we made it, we're here, and we'll see you guys in the morning. Welcome to a foggy Turlock. We're gonna go check out the job. I told him I was gonna take video so I could show the crew, the boss, the plant, whatever. This is not gonna work. Well, this is going to be one of the most interesting ones yet, because this is simply not going to work, and these guys are pretty bummed out about it. They want my truck, which is over 100 feet long, to come through an obstacle course that I wouldn't want to do with a gooseneck trailer. And if I make it through obstacle 1 and obstacle 2 and then obstacle 3, then there's still obstacle 4 and 5. And even if I make it through all that, then I have to come through all the obstacles backwards because I can't turn around. And I'm telling them this is just really not gonna happen. Here's the road we come in on. I come from that direction and I make a right-hand turn into that. The other option they want to know is if I can come down here and I come in through the palm trees. That's possible. I could probably make this, I don't know. Sure, let's just say I make it through the palm trees. That's obstacle 1. They've got to pull down concrete forms, cut off conduit, bury sidewalks and curbs that I would have to drive over the top of. And like I said, that's just to get past obstacles 1, 2, and maybe 3. And there's at least a half a dozen obstacles. So I told them, sure, I'll try it. We'll do anything, but as soon as I stop, you have to unload me where I'm at. And they don't really want that because it would shut down the entire job site. And I told them, okay, you know, plan C, I make it all the way in there, then I have to come out backwards, and then you have to do it with 3 trucks. So they're close to tears. They're pretty bummed out. Sorry, man. Once I get in off the road, this is obstacle number 2. Which is basically an S-turn, S-curve. I'd have to come straight for that porta potty, make a hard left, go straight for that pickup, and make a hard right. And this is all sidewalk and curb in here. And then it's a straight shot for a few hundred yards down that way. You see the palm trees right there? There's 2 of them right there. This is what they want me to do. Come in through those palm trees, right where that excavator is parked. I have to be careful of that blue pipe. Drive across this patio and curb, take down all this fence, and get me down this alleyway, where then they would unload me, and they're asking if I unhook the trailer and they pick it up with a crane and spin it around in the air while I bobtail somewhere and turn the truck around or come out backwards. I think they're going to listen to me. It's quite the powwow we're having with the bigwigs. So as I was putting this video together, I realized that I didn't really explain what Plan C was and what they were going to do with it. I had suggested that we unload them at the front of the job site, near the road, get the crane up there in that parking lot, and they just kind of store the joists off to the side until they had time and everybody was out of the way to shuttle them back to the back of the job site where they needed them. They were going to take 2 forklifts and hang the joists, 1 on each end, and then that way they could walk it back to the back of the job site as they needed, and do it on a Saturday when there was nobody else there, and they could just spend a few hours doing that. And it was really nice. You saw a little light bulb go off, and they all thought it was a good idea. So that's what happened. That's what they ended up deciding on doing. All right, the other loads have showed up. My turn. The other two trucks have showed up, and they're gonna actually be the guinea pigs, I guess. We're gonna see how far they can make it, because they're there. They're sitting there waiting. There's no room to park on the street or anything. So I'm gonna let them go. I'll pull in behind and watch. That's all right. I missed my turn. Now I've got to figure out how to turn around. I drove right past it. Well, I'm officially turned around now, so that's a good sign. I don't want to drive past it again. Here it is. Tail swing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I gotta back out. Get back straight. Okay.
Because you were at least 1 foot from clearing it. You barely touched it.
Okay, so I'm gonna get straight and we'll look at it.
All right.
Well, I got a fist bump from one of the superintendents so far, so that's a good sign. We're in. We made it this far. Now we're not sure how far I need to move, because I got these. This is going to be a nursing home facility. Outpatient wellness building area complex. There's a lot of buildings. It's quite a big complex. I sure am glad they didn't try to force me to go down that road. The other two trucks are down there. They made it in the gate. They made it through the S-turn, and they're down there waiting for me to be done so the crane can go down there and unload them. They're gonna take only half of the long joists at a time. There it goes. Oh boy. Oh, wow. Yeah, let's not hit the truck. I'm gonna give these guys a bunch of hard hat stickers. They've been pretty good today. Okay, I'm out of there. I'm out of there, and everything went well. Rating this job site. This is going to be an interesting one. The location was, 6 or 7. It was easy to find. It was right there, right off the main road. The unload, what we eventually did, was fine. It was a little difficult getting in, so I'll give it a 6. It really wasn't bad. Plan A was a 0. Plan B was a 1. And luckily these were nice guys and willing to listen to a suggestion I made, and they ended up taking my suggestion and it worked. So all in all, giving me a place to park, taking me down there in the pickup and showing me around, listening to me, and the unload went smoothly and lots of help. I'll give them a very high grade for that. That was very nice. And it wasn't that difficult. But the overall scheme of things, the whole job, that's a 1 or a 2. And what they wanted me to do, no. This worked out well. I'm gonna go home. I've got a 5-hour drive home, and that'll put me home mid-afternoon, about 3 o'clock. It's like a little after 10 now. And I'm gonna call this a week. So it's been two really good ones this week. I've been kind of struggling. I've been trying to figure out what kind of history to share with you guys this week. And this area of Northern California has a ton of history, a ton of very important history. But I grew up in this area, so to me, it's all a little boring, not that interesting. But you may very well find it interesting because it is super important history. I'll go back into the mid-1800s, 1839, 1840. There was a man from Switzerland named John Sutter who moved out to California. He became a Mexican citizen because California was part of Mexico at the time. And in doing so, he was given a 50,000 acre land grant in the Sacramento, Central California Valley, that area. He ran cattle, he did lumber, he did all kinds of, just stuff. He built what's called Sutter's Fort. It's actually still there. I went to field trips to Sutter's Fort when I was a kid in grade school. It's an interesting little place. It's right in the middle of downtown now, next to the hospital that I was born at. But not too far away, outside of Auburn, let's call it 45 minutes from Sacramento, he had a lumber mill in a little town called Coloma. And in 1848, James Marshall, who was his foreman up there for the lumber mill, was cutting lumber and saw a little glint of gold in the water. And he went down and checked it out, and that is the discovery of gold that started the entire California gold rush in 1848 and 1849. It was obviously hugely, immensely impactful for this area. Now, they tried to keep it a secret for a while, but they couldn't. And that started the gold rush, and the gold rush, in essence, ruined John Sutter. All of his employees ran off, all of his livestock were stolen, and they just trampled his land. They took over, they squatted, they claimed land for themselves. He was basically ruined. He was destroyed because of the gold rush. He transferred over all of his holdings to his son, and his son is actually the man who founded the city of Sacramento. He laid out the map for the city of Sacramento. So John Sutter and this whole area had a huge impact on the development of California, on immigration, people coming to California for gold, on California becoming a state, and why Kit Carson and John Fremont came over here to try to kick out the Mexicans to claim California as their own. That John Sutter also used to be declared a pioneer and a hero when I was a kid, but kind of growing up now, it's a modern outlook on history. He enslaved a lot of indigenous people, a lot of American Indians. He made slaves, he had forced labor, and in recent years, in the last decade or so, they've made a big deal about taking down all of John Sutter's statues and all of his plaques and the things that really commemorated him and made him to be a hero. They've removed all those. So he's not so much a hero anymore, and the whole history of it's kind of tainted, and it's a little weird to think about, but this whole area wouldn't be what it is today if it wasn't for John Sutter. James Marshall being the foreman of Sutter's lumber mill in Coloma, right outside of Auburn, which is where I am right now. And that started the gold rush, and that started everything. That created San Francisco. Everybody came around on ships to San Francisco. That made San Francisco a city, and they migrated from San Francisco to Sacramento and up into the hills, into the Sierra Nevadas, where the gold rush, this is called gold country around here, where the gold rush started and where the gold rush created California. Home again, home again. It's always good to be here. Made it safe and sound, no problems. Today was interesting. And then I also told them, here's a trick. Take a 100-foot tape measure, get a guy on both ends, and walk the route that you want me to drive. And then pretend this tape measure is 10 feet wide. Maybe have someone else holding a second tape measure. That'll give you a good idea as to what I've got to do. And they were willing to listen, and I'm very grateful, and it worked out well. Piece of cake. Hell of a week. Now that I'm home, oh yeah, we got to do the hat. The hat time. This hat is available on the website also. This hat is not. That hat is not. We don't have any of those for sale. Oh, you know what else? It's time for a Mr. Bones brew. If you would like to have a brew with Mr. Bones, it's very simple. Go to my website and get a Mr. Bones koozie. And it's got Jupiter Trucking on the other side. It's Friday night, and I think I'm going to go take Amy out to dinner. It sounds like a good time. And hype the video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We're having a good time here. And like the video. All those things that everybody asks. Like, subscribe, hype, buy my stuff, and let's go have a beer. Let me know if you have anything you want to say in the comments. Look forward to hearing from you guys. All right, until next week, we will see you. In the meantime, keep the bugs off your glass and the bears off your ass. We'll catch you on the flip-flop.